Hello and welcome to the Pixelated Sausage Show. Hi. How are y'all doing? How is everyone doing? Y'all is everyone, so works the same. Didn't need to reiterate and then do all this nonsense. How are you doing? Hopefully well. I'm all right. I have some games to talk about. Quite a bit of news to give 2 cents to here and there. Nothing I'm going to get too deep into the woods with. But I have been streaming. I do. But the Batman Arkham complete playthrough has been going, I can't say well or strong because, well, it's been a roller coaster ride. Arkham Asylum, replaying that. Absolutely adored it. Then I played Arkham City, was incredibly underwhelmed by that. Then that was a replay as well, so I don't know if I just said that or not. But then I played Arkham Origins for the first time. Had quite a good time with that. Followed that up with Blackgate, Arkham Origins Blackgate. Ooh-wee. That was a rough time. That is a game that, if I wasn't so stubborn and so committed, I would not have finished. That's a little hint at how I feel about it. So you can look forward to the complete thoughts on that when that episode of Attack the Backlog comes out. I think that I will start the run of Batman Arkham content this weekend. So second runs for Arkham Asylum, followed by Arkham City, then Arkham Origins, Blackgate. And by the time those are all out and everything, I should have played and finished Arkham Knight, because that'll be next week when I start that. As a little bit of a breather between games, or at least Blackgate and Knight, I decided to play a different Batman game. I'm playing Lego Batman for the first time, the first Lego Batman game. The 360 game only, but it's backward compatible on Series X and Xbox One, so that is nice. It's a Batman game, and by that I mean meant to say it's a Lego game, not a Batman game, because yeah, it's a Batman game, but it's more so just another Lego game. It is pre voice acting days, which I think was changed with Lego Batman 2, which was also more of a pseudo open world type of thing. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of fucking Batman. So much Batman. And I am ready to take a break. So I am hoping that I haven't already burnt myself out so much that Arkham Knight is going to suffer for it. I don't think so, because I did really like Origins, despite kind of feeling that burnout already. But since that was a fresh game for me, and I think better design, more tight, and just overall better than City, I'm feeling confident that if Arkham Knight is a good game, I will have a good time. The big question that I'm sure everyone will be wondering is, will I like or dislike the Batmobile sections? Because that's pretty much popular consensus, the factor that will make you either a fan or not a fan of that. So we shall see. But that's where I am currently with streaming and Attack the Backlog second runs, Last Call, etc. I have no idea what I'm going to play after Night. I don't know if I really want to jump into Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad now. I think I need a bigger break. And there are a lot of things I'm toying around with. I might do a really big game, like an Assassin's Creed. I've been wanting to play I think the L, people know that's the word I hate more than anything, that F word. And I feel real bad. I hope the L was, I hope the L came out at least a little bit, but I'm pretty sure when I said Black Flag, because I'm not always the best enunciator. I mumble, I sometimes stammer. I have fucking like a little lisp whatnot. I don't know. I'm not the best at speaking, and word comprehension plays a part in getting things out. I'll just say this. If you heard a beep, then it's because I accidentally said that, and even though it is clearly an accident, I don't feel comfortable with it. Just the thought that it came out of my mouth, accidentally or not, brings me much uncomfortableness, sad. I hate that word. I hate that word because it is the word that I probably heard used most so frequently in a very aggressive, mean-spirited, negative way. There are plenty of other words that have been used in that way as well, but in my personal experience, I have heard that most frequently, and I don't like it. I hate how sharp it sounds. It sounds like a fucking stab wound when somebody intends it to sound that way. Where did we go? How did we get here? I mean, I know how we got here, but Black Flag is one of the games I've been considering. Kingdom Hearts, but I think what pushes me away from wanting to dip my toes into the Kingdom Hearts world is that I think I would want to do the same thing I am doing with Batman, which is play 1, then 2, then fucking I don't know what the order of all these things are. It's not just jump to 3. It's like 36.5 over 22 divided by X remixed shit. You know what? Kingdom Hearts fans, you do you. I can't really say anything. I'm an anime fan, and any show that's based off a light novel is just an absolute nightmare of a title. It makes Kingdom Hearts games look like fucking Wet or Doom in comparison. But that is something I've also been toying with. There are other big games as well, but we'll see. I thought about Final Fantasy VII, the original, but I think I would rather wait to play that whenever we get the official announcement of the release, the Xbox release of Remake, so that I can play them close together and compare them. Even though I know that Remake is, yes, a remake, but also sort of a continuation. It's not just a straight remake, which sounds interesting. So I would want that frame of reference. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I may just end up also, by the time we get to night and finishing it, say, hey, you know what? Let's do Nights. Let's do Gotham Knights. And then I'll do Suicide Squad. And be done with Arkham forever. Until I decide to someday play Arkham Asylum again, because Arkham Asylum is one of the greatest games of all time. That just cemented it, replaying it. Oh, maybe in my top 25, definitely in my top 50. I adore that game. I adore it so much. But in terms of news, the biggest piece of news for me, and I didn't read the full, it's a humongous full content detailed list of everything that's being added in season 2. So what I'm talking about is season 2 of Black Ops 6. There is it's basically so incredibly TMNT themed. And I thought when they first teased it that it was just going to be, hey, the Ninja Turtles are here in skins, and that's it. So you'll get their skins, you'll get their melee weapons, and that'll be that. I didn't even know if you could get their melee weapons. I just figured, okay, you get skins and then maybe some weapon skins that are themed after the turtle shells, Turtle Man, whatever, I don't know. But it's way more involved. There are various modes and things that are happening gameplay wise, and then you are getting these full skins and they're melee weapons and there's leveling. It's scary. It's scary because I look at it and how hard they're going at it, and I'm thinking to myself, fuck me, this is going to cost me a lot, because I will not be able to say no. I have a certain amount, I think maybe 4,000 of Call of Duty currency bullshit bucks that I can use from previous purchases of Call of Duty games, I guess. But that's not going to cover everything, I'm sure, because we have the 4 turtles. I believe we have the 4 turtles and Splinter as skins or characters, whatever, however it works in Call of Duty. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I don't think it counts as a skin over a pre-existing character because they're just models. But I'm gonna have to get all of them, even though Donatel's my favorite. I can't not get every single one of them. And then I don't know what else there might be, but my hope is that at the very least there is some mega TMNT bundle that instead of having to pay, I don't know, $25 per character, you can get them all for 100 or something. I'm terrified. I'm also curious how long they'll be in the store, hopefully all season, so that I don't have to just drop 100 right away. But this is all starting tomorrow. I'm technically the day of this is release. I believe the season starts. I'm not sure if all the content, all the skins and everything will be in the store that day, but I am planning to play that at a re-download Call of Duty. But ooh, I am both excited and terrified for that. And then we have Nintendo is ending its My Nintendo Gold Switch eShop rewards program. So I think everything by the endish of March, I think March 24th maybe, there will be no way to earn gold points. If you don't know what gold points are, you got those for purchases, not that much, but you got a little bit here that you could then put towards future purchases. So it's just a rewards program that gave you back a little bit of credit that you can use towards additional purchases. And that is all going away. The final thing is that, like I said, March 24th or so will be the last day where pre-orders will give you some gold points, and physical games purchased prior to that day, I'm not even sure how that works with physical games. I think it's something where you put the card in and then it recognizes it and does something. I don't know exactly. And the gold points you have will still work. They won't expire until their regular expiration date, so 12 months from acquisition. So you don't have to spend them prior to the rewards program going away, but it's a it's a bye-bye. It's a me bye-bye. But me and one of my friends were speculating about why this is happening, because in addition to this, also they came out and said that the Nintendo eShop vouchers, Switch vouchers, will not work on Switch 2 games. I didn't read the thing to see if it specified what a Switch 2 game means. If a Switch 2 means it's only on Switch 2, which is what I would assume it would mean. So something not like Metroid Prime 4, which is cross-gen. It's on Switch 1 and 2. But the next Mario Kart, which would be ridiculous to be on Switch 1, that wouldn't be eligible. And I'm guessing that's because moving forward, all of those games will be $70. And the only one we've had on Switch 1 is Tears of the Kingdom, unless I'm forgetting something else from Nintendo, that is. So that is something to think about. But me and my friend, again, we're speculating that maybe this is happening with the rewards program specifically because they're going to introduce something different with the Switch 2. And in my speculation, my idea was they'll introduce a new rewards program that will be exclusive to Nintendo Switch Online, and Nintendo Switch Online will see a price hike. Maybe just $25 for a single individual plan and $60 for a family plan. And then, because what is it, $50 for the plus plan, the expansion one? That could go $60 for individual I'm not sure what it costs for a family plan of that. Maybe that goes to 100. I don't know. I have no idea. But I can see maybe that happening, which doesn't really affect me because I'll probably cancel my Nintendo Switch on, or I won't renew it when it expires next year. I got my handful of Mario Party good times out of it, so it was worth it. And then I'll be done with it. I'm not joining your family plan either. I know who you are. You know who you are. You have to force niceties upon me. Good luck. Good luck. But then a bit more news. Sony's PS5 live service title Fairgame has reportedly slipped to 2026. And my impression from this, just the headline, I didn't even bother reading this article because I just looked at this headline and I said to myself, by slip to 2026, you really just mean it's canceled, right? To me, I look at that, if true, and it's slipping to next year as this game's never coming out. If it's in that kind of condition, why bother? Why waste more money on it? It doesn't seem like a game that was ever destined for success. It feels very Concord-y. I mean, maybe if they show gameplay of it, people will get excited about it. If they showed gameplay of it and said, hey, this is what to expect from the game, but we need a bit more time. So it's slipping. It's coming out now in 2026. That could have maybe gotten people a bit excited. You get them, they're this disappointed. I mean, if you got people excited that they became disappointed that it slipped, that to me would be a good thing because that meant people were actually looking forward to the game and playing it. That was never the case with Concord. And then the last bits of news, because I don't know, this show's already fucking loaded with nothing. Fantasy Life I has been, they showed a new trailer for it or something, and it's not only coming to Switch, but it's also coming to PS5, and that may have already been known. But it's also coming to Xbox Series consoles. I had no idea that was happening. I was always excited about that game, because I played a little bit of the 3DS one, and I thought it was so cool, but I just didn't have the time to invest in it. And I really, really, really want to play this new one, but the chance of me playing anything is significantly less when it's not on Xbox, because that's just my preferred platform, preferred controller. Especially if it was only on Switch. I just don't do handheld gaming really, and I hate the Switch Pro controller so much. I really hope that if they come out with a refresh of a Pro controller for Switch 2, that it is significantly nicer. I don't like it. What I would really like from the Switch 2, what would get me more excited about the Switch 2 than anything else is if they announced that the buttons are just going to be like everyone else. Don't give me this stupid DA fucking whatever. Get out of here. And then the last one, real quick one. Ubisoft will reveal Rainbow Six Siege X, a new era for the game at a event thing or whatever, at a showcase next month. That's potentially exciting. I really like that game, and I just liked playing the equivalent of Terrorist Hunt that they had in it. I missed the time, or I really liked when it originally launched and its version of Terrorist Hunt had the 2 suicide bombers in it. I think it was 2 if you played on the extreme difficulty, which is what I did. And the intensity that those enemies brought to the levels was palpable. It was really, really tense and fun and nerve-wracking, and I loved playing that by myself. So if this includes anything regarding their version of that mode, or maybe an introduction of a proper terrorist hunt mode, classic terrorist hunt, be very excited about it. That's enough about news and all that jazz and whatnot. So let us get on to what I've been playing, which includes Let's Cook Together 2, Moons of Darsalon, Please Be Happy, Turbo Overkill, and what's the full name of the other one? It's Shadow Tactics Kai's Choice, I believe. Let me see. Did I put it in here? Yeah, Shadow Tactics Aiko's Choice. Put it in the other list. All right. So we'll start with Let's Cook Together 2. I played through the first 3 areas of this game in its campaign mode. There are a lot of different other modes. And this is basically an Overcooked like, where you are managing a kitchen. You get orders and you have to make them, whether it's scrambled eggs, an egg sandwich, a tomato and cheese sandwich, a cheese sandwich, you make it with pork and fried vegetables. Don't know what it is. It looks like pork sushi and so on. And it was fine. One of the things that's a positive for it is that it is very manageable playing it single player, because it doesn't feel like it penalizes you for taking too much time to do these orders. You can take all the time you want. What you get penalized for when you finish a level is if you make errors. So if you accidentally screw up something, you interact with the wrong device, that counts as the error. So anytime your input is off, but also if you just screw up things, which I never did, because it never seemed like there's at least no visual icon or anything indicator saying that you have 30 seconds to fulfill this order or so on. And so the only ways you're penalized are for making errors, like I just said. And then also, I guess if you make spills, if there are kind of those issues with your cooking space, or any downtime where you're not moving around, but you're getting points for being active and all the steps you make. So it just makes sense to move around even when you don't have to. So if you're waiting for things to cook, just run around for no reason. That seemed to work for me. So it was all very, very easy, which is nice. But then it ended up being in this weird space of, well, if the challenge isn't really there, what is there to this? And the way the campaign works, when you move to a different area, I don't know if it'll always happen, but then these drones attack you, and you have the worst handling, feeling, playing twin stick shooter segment I've ever experienced in a game, where it's not pointing your analog stick in the direction and shoot, but it's rotate your cursor around your little ship thing and then destroy drones that are attacking you for whatever reason. And there's a bit of a story, I guess, but I don't know. It didn't do that much for me. Visually, it's not bad, but playing it was pretty boring. There's just some instances too where things are too close together and it seems finicky when it wants to interact with one thing over another. It was okay. It was just okay. But in the grand scheme of Overcooked likes, those games that are meant to be a bit hectic and are primed for playing together with friends and losing minds together, it's not one of the better ones. That is, again, Let's Cook Together 2. Moons of Darsalon is this hybrid of action platformer, I guess, because you quickly get access to a gun. Lemmings-like, where each level you are searching the level for additional, it's like a space setting, so you're looking for other astronauts essentially, and you're collecting them, ordering them to either go left, go right, follow you, or wait. Those are your orders for them. And you're trying to get them to the end of the level where there's a mining base that you send them into, and you have a certain number you have to, in order to complete a level. There will be additional ones that you can get all of them, but you don't have to collect every one of them to complete a level. It's kind of fun. I love the visual stylings of it. It feels very much like an early mid 90s PC game with this pixel-ish art that I quite like. And mechanically it feels all right, but there is the inherent frustration of the AI astronauts that you are trying to get to cooperate and follow you and do their orders, of them just doing their own thing or not really following the orders in the way you would expect. That can make it frustrating, but that's part of the game. So I don't know how critical I can be of that. You move all right, but one of the things you can do, I believe, with a double tap of the jump is grab onto a ledge and pick yourself up. That felt very, very, very finicky. The weapons are pretty interesting. You have a basic gun, which you just use to take out these weirdo looking space aliens. But then you also, in later levels, will get a gun that's like a blue blob gun that can shoot against ledges and whatnot and create pathways. So you build out bridges and stuff like that, which is fun. It's a fun way to navigate a space. And then you also get a jetpack, which is terrible. That is kind of where the game lost me in terms of mechanics, because the way you initiate the jetpack is not by pressing the jump and then pressing it again, or pressing the jump and then pressing another button to turn it on. It's just by pushing up on the analog stick. And it seemed incredibly sensitive, so that if I was just walking or doing anything, jumping, shooting, it seemed so easy for me to accidentally initiate my jump pack that I started to lose my mind, because I hated it. I wish there was more of a toggle or something so that I wouldn't have so many accidental starts of it. That fucking sucked. But the rest of the game, it's solid. It's going to be challenging and frustrating though. So I think if you're someone who would be up for dealing with this game or not. Do you like being a babysitter? Do you like dealing with AI characters who you have to help navigate a space and knowing that they're not going to be the best listeners? Do you like feeling that sense of accomplishment of finally getting over that? If yes, give it a shot. If not, it's not going to change them. It's not going to turn anyone into a fan who isn't already a fan of these types of games. That is, again, Moons of Darsalon. Next is Please Be Happy, which is a visual novel that I played a few hours of. Didn't even get through the second chapter. And I think it's okay. It's a story where you play a fox who has become more humanoid over the years, and someone was very kind to you. A person was very, very kind to you back in the day, always visited you, and then they had to go home. And now you are more of this humanoid girl, and you're searching for them. And your search leads you to fictional, I can't remember if it's a real city in New Zealand or a fictional city in New Zealand or a fictionalized version of a real city in New Zealand. But you end up in New Zealand. And then your story just goes from there. The thing about it is that it is well written. That is to say, the localization, translation, solid. I didn't notice errors, typos, weird sentence structures, etc. It was well put together. The problem is, and this is a problem that a lot of visual novels have, this is a problem for me, but for fans of visual novels, I think they love this. And this is just a problem I have with a lot of novels. This is why I like someone like Ernest Hemingway. It's the language is so flowery in this. It's so excessive. They describe things multiple times, and it just feels like in so many visual novels, because it's a selling point, they try and put as many words as they can into a game so that in the instance of Please Be Happy, in the description, one of its first things, or its bullet points, what is it? Its features. The first thing it puts in this bullet list of features is over 220,000 words. I'm sure that gets so many visual novel fans excited. They see that and they think, oh man, there's so much content in this. I can't wait to consume all this. And there are two main paths to follow in this game. But I look at that and I think, could you not have done it with less? I feel like you probably could have done it with less. And based on what I've read so far, pretty sure they could have done it with less. It's not a very choice-driven game. No mini games to throw in there every now and again. So it is a very novel reading game. There is some voice work in it as well, which is solid, but most of it is reading. But it's a visual novel. But like I said, in terms of the localization translation, that's well done. It's just, it's a lot. It's very excessive to me, for me. But compared to some of the other visual novels I've played, read recently, this is one of the better ones. It just, the story as well isn't something that immediately jumps to me as something I'm drawn to. The characters are all right. It's just, none of them stood out in a way where I immediately wanted to ship these characters and see where their relationship went and play a hand in getting them to focus on this relationship, which is obviously a big component of these games often. So if you're a fan of visual novels, I'm sure you already know about it, already played it. But if not, worth checking out for y'all visual novel people. Then there is Shadow Tactics, Aiko's Choice, which I'd love to be able to talk about, but I booted it up. I think I played Shadow Tactics, the main game, because this is a standalone expansion, essentially. And I think it's only a handful of missions and then maybe a few bonus side mission type things, but just a handful of main missions. Only $20, I believe. But I think I played the main Shadow Tactics game when it originally came out a long time ago. And jumping into this, you don't need that base game to play this from a story standpoint. I'm sure you'd get more out of it if that were the case. But where Aiko's Choice fails is in onboarding new players. So this game in no way seems to expect anyone who didn't play the main game to play this. Because the tutorial, what there is, if there is really anything, is dog shit. It's horrendous. And I stopped playing after maybe 15 minutes. Because it initially throws you into this, after a bit of exposition and story, this situation where 3 guards are pointing guns at you and your 3 compatriots, your 3 team members. And the way this game works is kind of like from a isometric camera angle, and it kind of just feels like a Diablo game that is stealth-based. And you can switch between the 3 characters who all have different classes and different pros and cons. But it throws you against these 3 opponents and doesn't tell you anything, how anything works, what to do, the best way to tackle the situation. I reloaded multiple times to try and find a way that I could do it without taking any damage. There probably is a way for seasoned vets of the series, but I only managed to get through that by taking 1 damage from my main character, from Aiko, and another character. So I lost 1 point of damage from 2 of my characters. Then they threw me on the roof of this thing, and they wanted me to spy on some people talking, and it gave me no guidance as to what I should do, how I should do it. And I was confident-ish that I could probably figure out how to at least do that. But the fact that it wasn't giving me any real information made me say, what are we doing here? And so I just bounced from the game. So I wish I could say more about it. I wish I could say, hey, there's a standalone version of this game that maybe if you were interested, but it's been on sale plenty of times, so if you were interested, you could get it for even cheaper than $20. But I wish I could say, hey, here's a cheaper version of this game, and if you like it, you can then go and get the main game, but not the case. And then the last one is Turbo Overkill, which just got a console port not too long ago. I played a bit of it because I played this when it was in early access on PC, and it had controller support, but it felt kind of like it was 80-85% there. And now with the console port, the aim assist is very aggressive in a way that I think will make a lot of people who play on console happy because it feels really good. You can't adjust it though, which is a little weird. I didn't at least see any adjustments in the settings. But outside of that, or in part because of that, it feels really good on console. It doesn't look as nice. I was surprised. It feels like it looks kind of significantly downgraded from the PC version. I was playing the PC version on all max settings, but it never felt like a super fidelity or resource intensive game, because it is a bit of that boomer shooter, retro, current hybrid type of aesthetic where it has that pixelated look, but rendered very highly and with modern lighting techniques and stuff like that. But it doesn't look bad. It just looks not as good as I remembered. But it feels very, very good. It's so much fun. If you're a fan of classic-ish shooters, it's one I would highly recommend because the shooting feels really good. With that aim assist, you feel like a badass because the game is doing a lot of the work to compensate for the fact that you're using a controller and not a mouse and keyboard. And the general gameplay loop is very satisfying. You have these roughly small levels. Some secrets will be found taking on enemies, but the way melee works is by sliding. So when you slide, I think it's on your feet, but when you're sliding, you have a little chainsaw thing that when you slide through enemies, you're chainsawing them as well. And that's a very satisfying thing because sliding already is one of the best mechanics in any game, and it's especially great in shooters. And when you can make it an offensive weapon, an offensive tool via chainsawing enemies, how can you not love that? And you got a little double jump, you got a dash as well. Feels good. If you want a really good feeling, fast-paced, first-person shooter, and you only have console, don't play on PC, now you can play Turbo Overkill and play one of the best ones that has come out in the last few years. So I highly recommend. That is it in terms of what I've been playing. So that'll do it for this here episode of the Pixelated Sausage Show. Once again, I am Marcus Nez. Y'all can find me pretty much everywhere at PX Sausage. If you enjoy this here show or any of the stuff I do and what have you, you can support me and my nonsense over at patreon.com/PXS. There you can get access to a monthly Q&A, the occasional watch party, a private Discord channel, along with some fancy Discord roles, and the random drop on the Patreon here or there depending on your tier, or you could just support me to support me if that is your fancy. That is again patreon.com/PXS. In addition to the Patreon, you can find links to the site, the YouTube, the Discord, the Twitch, and so much more over at pxsausage.com. That is the letter P, the letter X, sausage.com. That is it. That is all. As always, thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed this here episode, and I hope you have a wonderful, I hope you have both a wonderful rest of your day, a lovely rest of your week, and a wonderful week N. But for now, adios, arrivederci. Bye
It's go time. Go daddy. It's go time. Go daddy. It's go time. Go daddy.